Hi there, Hip Kit fans. This is Niki Rowland with my first YouTube video for Hip Kit. I'm so happy to be asked to join the design team. On my layout today, I'm using the August kits, the main kit, the embellishment kit, and the Project Life kit. And I'm working on this week's weekly sketch challenge. There it is. Those big circles in the background, they scare me a bit. So I decided not to go for large circle paper layers and decided to go for something a little bit more abstract instead. I'm just trying to decide which papers to use here, but that blue roses paper is crying out to be fussy cut, so I'm going to do that. I've also cut the Geo Roses cut file that was one of the subscriber cut files, so I've cut that out of the turquoise cardstock that was in the kit. Confession, I didn't actually get the cardstock this month for some reason, so I've chosen something that was as close a match as possible to something I had in my stash. So if the colour is slightly off, that's why. Yeah, so I've cut that out in the turquoise cardstock, and I cut it twice. I cut it quite small and cut them twice. So you'll see all those roses, those Geo roses, in a minute on my cutting mat that's still there. So right now I am fussy cutting out some of those gorgeous blue flowers. Well, it's actually mainly the leaves I was going for. I will cut out a couple of flowers as well, but of the smaller ones. So there's those roses you can see. I'm just having to pull those off the mat and get all the bits out. And I plan to arrange those onto my background in a large circle pattern, so that will represent the large circle rather than having a actual large circle cut out of pattern papers or drawn onto my page. So here we go. I'm just getting those in place now, roughly organising them into a circle to mirror the sketch a little bit. And the two sprays of flowers either side of the photos, I'm going to use those really lovely blue leaves and some of the flowers as well. So I'm still fiddling around with the cut file background. I'm adding some of the leaves in from the cut file too. I won't use all of them, but just a few. Yeah, still fiddling around with that blue paper. I love it so much. I'm just cutting out a few more bits and pieces to add to that spray of flowers either side of my photo. That blue paper generally would be totally outside my comfort zone, but fussy cut up into pieces, it's really gorgeous. And I say, as soon as I saw it, it was something I knew I would just have to cut out. So these cards here are from the Project Life kit. I don't do Project Life. I did do it for years, but now I'm not doing it at the moment. So for me, they're going to be used mostly as paper layers, rather than in cards, as in card form in a Project Life folder. But I will use some of them on my layouts as well, or fussy cut the elements from them like I'm doing here. So I've double mounted the photo on the right in the blue one to start off with, and then onto that lighter blue one, but I took out the couple of the sentiments from the middle of that before I did it. So there we go, perfect colour coordination, paper layers behind my photos there. Yeah, I'm just fussy cutting out those little tiny words there that are from one of those Project Life cards. I'm not sure if they actually make it onto my layout in the end. I think I might have lost them. But yeah, that was the plan. Right, okay, so moving on. I've got those Geo roses in the background in representing the circle from the sketch. I'm just going to get those all stuck down. There's several circles on that sketch, and I wasn't quite sure how to represent those. You'll see that I start fussy cutting those blue sketched hearts from one of the Maggie Holmes papers in a minute, they will form the next circle. Okay, so just while I'm getting everything stuck in place, I will fast forward so you don't have to watch this boring bit. Hold on. Okay, so now I have everything stuck in place, I'm just trying to now add in some embellishments to see what larger pieces I might be able to use from the kit. So I've just gone through the ephemera. I'm obviously putting out all of the blue toned bits and pieces. I just had a little boy, baby boy, so all of my layouts at the moment feature him and my other two children with him. So on this occasion, just him, and I've picked out a lot of the blue tones from this kit. So I went through the ephemera there to find whatever I could that matched the colours that I'm using right now, and I pulled out that lovely little blue card with the flowers on it. So I've just tucked that to the left of the left-hand photo, and I'm just going to get all my leaves stuck down properly now that I've got my photos stuck down. I tend to stick down the bottom edge of my photos and raise up the top edge, and that's just to give me some dimension. It also serves a practical purpose too, so that I can tuck bits and pieces in underneath my photos after they're stuck in place, and I can easily lift them up again if I need to. I tend to move things around quite a bit, so that's one little tip there to make sure that you can carry on adding things in and around your photos. Just raise them up on foam pads so you've got some space to tuck things under. Okay, so now moving on to these fussy cut hearts. I absolutely loved that sheet of paper from the Maggie Holmes Willow Lane collection, the one with all of those sketched hearts on. I've pulled out just some of the blue ones. They had lots of different colours on them, but I've pulled out the dark blue with a couple of light blue ones as well. And I'm just fussy cutting a number of those, and I'm playing around at this point with where they can go. I don't like them randomly positioned around the roses, so here I am forming a circle which will form one of the other circles that shows on the sketch. So to me that seemed like a okay idea, but then actually trying to arrange the hearts in something that actually looks like a circle was actually quite challenging. So I moved them around quite a bit before I'm happy with their positioning. And then they didn't quite look finished, so I've had to finish them off with something which I'll come on to in just a moment. So anyway, yeah, still fiddling here, really struggled. Okay, so in order to make those hearts look more like a circle, off I went and added some machine stitching using my sewing machine, obviously, and I used a gold thread by the We Are Memory Keepers one. It's really lovely, and I've used that through my sewing machine, and I went round the heart circle. I went round it 3 times, and then because I liked the look of the gold thread on the layout. The gold goes beautifully with this layout, with this kit. I also added some stitches through my leaves, so I added them through the turquoise leaves from the cut file. And I also added some detail to the blue leaves too, some of the blue leaves. So that, again, would serve 2 purposes. 1, to make it look pretty, and 2, to hold them in place, because they were a little bit flimsy, some of those leaves where I've cut them so thin. Yeah, the sewing machine holds them in place perfectly. So I'm just making the back of my layout a little bit more neat and tidy, just taping the ends down with sellotape and chopping those off. Right, there we go, and there is my layout. So getting there now, finally. So okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm gutting the middle of that Maggie Holmes Together paper, and I'm sticking my cardstock background, my white cardstock background, onto that paper. Okay, so I have a nice blue frame going around the outside, and it's all stuck in place now. So now I can start embellishing. So here I am pulling out all of the bits and pieces from the kits. Say I had the main kit, the embellishment kit, and the Project Life kit. And I'm just going through and pulling out all the bits and pieces I think will work. So because I added gold thread, I wanted to add a few more gold bits and pieces here. So I've added some gold hearts from the foam icon thickers. I've got that lovely star trim, but I've struggled to use it as a trim. I can cut it up and use the individual stars, but using a length of trim I struggle a bit with. So I'm glad that I got a piece of that in, albeit small, underneath my photo. And I'm just going through adding in as many bits and pieces as I can. So I'm building up those sprays of flowers either side of my photos. I've added in a few different types of leaves and flowers, and added a bird to the top right. And now I'm going through adding some other sentiments too. So now I'm trying to figure out my title. I love these little tiny letter stickers that came in the Project Life kit. I'm adding a title using the thickers, the black thickers, and I've got blue in the main thickers, and then eyes from the little tiny greeny letter stickers from the Project Life kit. And then I found the word bright, there it is, from the clear sticker sheet. That's from the waterfall stickers. And that was perfect. So that finished off my title beautifully. So Bright Blue Eyes is my title. And I'm nearly done now. I'm just finishing off. I've got another one of those clear stickers. I wanted to add a little bit more gold onto this layout. It's just so lovely. The gold, that is. Yeah, I've got a puffy or a flated ephemera heart embellishment from the Amy Tangerine collection, and I'm just going through and adding some of those flat stickers from the waterfall sticker collection to bring in the black, because I've used the black letters and some black embellishments, but I don't have a lot of it dotted around, so I just wanted to add a few more bits in there, and a few of the puffy heart stickers from Amy Tan Shine On too. So just getting all those in place, fiddling around, getting the last bits stuck down, just building up my embellishment cluster as much as I can. I tried to fit in another bird there, you saw, but he was facing the wrong way, so he didn't work. So I'm just going to finish off with some flicks of the Minor 49er Inkling. I love this product to add sparkle to my layout. It's really lovely. So you have to spray it with a little bit of water, let it set for a bit, and then I pull a bit out and put it on my craft sheet, add a spritz of water to it, and then I can flick it with a paintbrush. Then it's quite a thick paint, you see, so it needs watering down a bit. Just finished off with some journaling, and that's me done. Okay, so thank you so much for joining me today. I've really delighted to be on the Hip Kit design team, and I've loved creating this layout for you based on this week's sketch, so please do join in, and I'd love to see what you create. So thank you so much for joining me. That was Niki Rowland for Hip Kit Club.